My name is Dana Barnes. I'm the president of the Greater Fall River Art Association, and I am honored and pleased that the Fall River Library has asked me to do this class for you. This is a little mini journal, and it's a wonderful small little book that you can put in all of your memorabilia, all of your fun things, nice little remembrances, and it's really small. It fits in your purse. So you can take this with you and tuck things in whenever you go. It's a great way to put photographs of a special event. Each of you were given a kit, and the kit has 4 sets of pages. And they look like this. Each has a page and a bunch of pretty colored paper. And it also is a tube of liquid glue. And liquid glue is is anything that comes in a tube, and you also got a glue stick. If you're choosing to if you're not liking the glue that you were given, and you're a fan of Aleene's tacky glue or Aleene's glues, those are always available. You can buy those anywhere you need to. And if you're still not happy with any of those glues, you can always buy double-sided tape at the dollar store. So let's get started. So each of the pages, you'll notice, have a score marks in them. These are folds. We're going to need to first, before we put any of the beautiful papers on them, let me back up. Do not take all of your papers apart and pile them neatly. They are all different sizes. They fit appropriately to your page numbers. So we're going to take page number 1. Each of your pages is numbered. So page number 1, take the paper clip off, and you're going to take your big piece of paper, and we're going to fold it along the score lines. So you'll fold here and run your finger really hard. Use your fingernail. If you don't have fingernails, use a popsicle stick, whatever you think you need to do. This will have fold number 2. This will have fold number 3. And then this will have fold number 4. Now, run your finger along them all, make sure they're nice and crisp, because this is the fold for the outside of this book. We're making the cover of the book. And you'll see there's a fold here, there's a fold here, and a fold here. So this is the part that we're making, the outside cover. Unfold it all, and you should have something that looks like this, kind of little mountains and valleys. You've been given 2 different kinds of pretty paper. This is just scrapbook paper. This is not anything real special. This is scrapbook paper. You can buy them, you can buy it wherever you want to buy scrapbook paper, but you should buy 12 by 12 sheets as opposed to 8.5 by 11s. 12 by 12s, that way you only need to have 4 different kinds of paper, and you can do this book. Two pieces of 12 by 12 plain paper, 4 pieces of pretty paper. You can make as many of these little books as your heart desires. So what you want to do is you want to pick whatever you want for the inside and whatever you want for the outside. This is strictly your own design choice. I had to make a choice as to which colors went with what, but you can pick whichever ones go where. Please feel free to mix them up, whichever you'd like to do. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to take and lay out your pages. They will fit perfectly to where you want them to go. The right one here. Okay. So now it's simply a matter of gluing it down. You'll notice that I have left one space without any paper on it. Very important. Leave on the inside of your cover, leave this space blank. Do not put one of the pretty papers down. This is where your binding is, so you need to have it be we have to stack everything together, and I'll show you how to do that, but it has to be without the pretty paper on it. So, very simple. If you, in this humidity, I would recommend using a glue stick. And the key with a glue stick is get enough glue on the paper first off. And this is that fun purple stuff, so you can see when you get it on it. It's nice and sticky. In high humidity, the glue stick works the best. The liquid glues tend to want to be a little bit bubbly. So these pages will all fit with a little tiny bit of white or whatever color your base is all around the edge. The key with a glue stick is you have to rub it and rub it hard and rub it well. That's how you get the activation between two pieces of paper. I am not going to have you sit and watch me glue all these pages, but I want to get you on one page completely done. This should take you no more than a half an hour to get all your pages all glued with the pretty paper on them. Again, make sure you get it tucked in the middle, right like this. You're going to have a little tiny bit around the border so that the book folds well. Just make sure you keep rubbing it and rubbing it down to make sure it sticks. Humidity is real tough on glues, but double-sided tape will work with this. That's always fun. It takes a little bit longer with a double-sided tape because you have to be patient in order to pick the paper backing off, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. If that's what you have, that's what you use. If you only have liquid glue, then you use your liquid glue. And all of the pieces have been cut so that there is a little bit of a border. Now you'll notice that this border is a little bit more than the rest of them. That is on purpose because it has to fold and fold. And we want to make sure that we don't have this pretty paper all creased up in the middle. So there's the inside of the cover. The outside, you do the exact same way, except on this one, you are going to put the pretty paper on the outside here. Just like that. I always measure, I always take a look. If there's something I want to change, it's always easier to do it before you put the glue on it and glue it down. Having been there, done that many times. Again, just a little bit of a white border around the edge, and just make sure you rub and rub and rub and rub and rub. You need to make that binding, that adhesion happen. Also, one more thing about using a glue stick. You're going to want to make sure that you glue someplace and adhere your papers in another place. And by that I mean, you'll notice I'm gluing down here, because if the glue gets off onto the whatever surface you're working on, it can get on the front of your papers. So you're going to want to make sure that you give yourself enough room to glue all of your pages without getting glue on the outside. There's nothing worse than having glue on the outside of your book. Everything sticks to it. Now you're going to do this for all of the pages. All of your pages will be adhered with pretty pieces of paper. Once you have all of your pages done, you're going to look like this. I figured you didn't need to see me do nothing but glue. For this next part of this book, you are going to have to work with liquid glue. We are going to bind this together. So this is page number 1. You'll see there's the flap, there's the second flap, there's the flap, there's a flap. And you see there's no paper here. Piece number 2, I have all my pretty papers put on it, and you'll notice that on both sides of page number 2, there is no pretty paper in the middle of this. This is where you're going to join 2 pieces together. So this is very important. You'll notice that the 2 flaps are off on my left, your right, over here. And there's a single here. That's because you have a double flap over here. Page number 3, and all of your pages have been numbered. You'll notice again, white space, 2 flaps off on the right. My right, your left. Okay? And then the final page has the little teeny tiny finishing center section, but you'll notice there's nothing on this side. So this will go here. So what happens is you get a single flap, a double flap, a single flap, a double flap, a single flap, and a double flap. We're going to join our pages together. This literally should take not any time. You've also been given a bunch of paper clips. Very important, you're going to need them because this is the part that will take you the longest. The liquid glue has to dry. So, first step, use my liquid glue. You're going to want to take and get a fair amount of liquid glue in the center section here. This is what's going to hold your piece together. So you get a fair amount of glue in here. Feel free to use your fingers to get it mushed around, and that's a technical term, mushing. And you get yourself a really good amount of glue. Page number 2 comes and sits right on top of that. Line up your tops and your bottoms and rub and push. You might get some splurbage, another technical term, out of the top and the bottom. That's okay. Rub hard. Let it sit there. Page number 3 is going to be joined in here. Again, white pages to white pages. I got some glue on me here. And here's your white, your page number 3. Line up your bottoms. Rub. The key to the reason for all the rubbing is to get the air bubbles out of the glue and also to get some good adhesion, because this is what's going to hold your book together. And then finally, page 4. Now you're going to want to let this sit to dry. It's pretty humid today, so I would guess that this might take about 20 minutes to dry. But you're basically done with your book, basically. So now that you've made this happy little thing, paper clip at the top, paper clip at the bottom along the spines. Set it aside. It'll take about 20 minutes to dry. But again, you've got a single flap, a double flap, single flap. This is the binding that's going to hold your book together. Double flap, single flap, double flap. Now, if you have done this differently, don't worry about it. There's no right and wrong to this. So once this dries, you need to set this aside and let it dry. Once you have it dried, this is where the fun stuff happens. When you have it dry, it's going to fold it up and it's going to look like this. You have a little flap, and you'll notice that this flap is a lot bigger than the book pages. That's because you're going to fill this little book with pictures, memorabilia. You can put tags in here. You can put pictures of your vacation or your dog or your kids or your husband or your wife or whoever. or whatever. If you don't want to use it for pictures, use it for mementos, maybe as a memorial gift, something that might be nice for someone who maybe has had some challenges in their life. This is a great place to put inspirational thoughts. I think all of the colors that we've given you for this kit, you can write in all of this. You can tuck things in here. How you make the little tuck? I'm going to use this. This is one of the double flips. All you need to do, very simple, to make a tuck spot is glue on one edge. Use the liquid glue. Do not use the glue stick. It's not strong enough. Use the liquid glue. This is a very finishing piece, very finishing edge to this. A little bit of glue on each side. Fold it. Fold it. That becomes like a little envelope. You can tuck something right in here. Once it dry, give it a few minutes to dry. Depends on the humidity again. But you can tuck something in here, like a little card, a little. I would use it for journaling. I'd have a lovely picture here, and then a little hidden journaling piece here. Anything that you want to do with this. This is where your own personal creativity comes into play. This one is a little short. This is a little bit bigger tuck spot. You don't have to glue it down. You can absolutely not glue it down if you want to put you've got 3 spots here for photography or whatever you'd like to put in here. But that's my little junk journal. You make it out of scrap paper. I've used scrapbook paper for it. You can use whatever your heart desires for it. If you have book pages, an old book, you can certainly use that. For the sizes of the pages to cut, you can send me a request for that, because each one is different. Each page is different. The only thing that you would need, the extra piece of equipment that you would need in order to get your score lines on here, you'll need to have something that you can, I use what's called a score pal, and it literally has lines, and you use a bone folder, and you make the little lines. It breaks, what that does is breaks the fibers in the paper so that it folds easier. But if you don't have that, you can certainly use a metal ruler, and it takes a little while longer, but you can find them. I can pass along the measurements, and you use a metal ruler and fold it up, and it'll do the same thing. There's always ways to do things. You don't have to have all the Cadillac equipment. But I hope you enjoy it. I hope you make some more. Let me know if you need any of the dimensions of the pretty paper and the base paper. The base paper is a little bit stiffer, but once you get those pages all together, this is a very sturdy little book. Enjoy!